Time now for this week's mental health moment. Maine will soon have its first psychiatric residential treatment facility for the most at-risk youth. This announcement coming after DHHS awarded Sweetser $2 million to construct and open the program. Here with us to discuss is Sweetser's Chief Program Officer, Christy Worcester. Christy, thanks so much for coming in today and talking to us about this new facility. So tell us, what will this mean for families?
Yeah, thank you so much. So this is really a game changer for youth, families, providers, and hospitals across the state. Currently, children who have serious emotional disorders that need this kind of care, they have to leave the state to get it. And that means that they're far away from their families, their natural supports, and their communities, or they're currently languishing in emergency rooms for very long and expensive stays. And you know, a PRTF is less restrictive than a hospital, which is very good, and yet it's a little more intense than a traditional residential facility. It is locked, and that's really so that kids can be safe and those around them can be safe. Okay. So Sweetser's really proud of the fact that we're going to be able to help these youth and families by bringing our kids back home to the state of Maine, and the fact that they're not going to be in emergency rooms for long stays anymore.
Sure. With this being the first of its kind facility here in the state, obviously, we didn't have one before. So what were some of the barriers that kind of kept us from having a facility like this? Yeah,
that's a really great question. So currently across the country, there are 35 states that have PRTFs. Maine really was an outlier. And the hospital started to kind of sound the alarm when kids were staying in the emergency rooms for very long times, long amounts of time. And it was, Sweetser and other providers, along with families, really started to advocate for this over the last several years. And the legislature and DHHS really answered the call by coming up with a favorable rate for this program, in addition to awarding the $2 million for this construction. And so by doing that, they really made signaled that they were going to close one of the gaps in the continuum of care for children and to strengthen children's behavioral health care in the state of Maine.
Very cool. Well, this is an exciting announcement. I know you guys are probably just kind of weeding through all the early stages and processes. What's the time frame for this facility to open? Yeah,
so we are in the early stages, just beginning to have conversations with some architects and some construction specialists. The plan is to renovate a two-story, 8,000 square foot facility that we have on our Saco campus. We're going to build a beautiful therapeutic space to serve up to 16 children. And hopefully after the new year, we'll begin to recruit many of psychiatric behavioral health specialists and clinical staff and such. And then hopefully we will open in April of 2026.
Okay, very cool. Well, Christy, thanks for coming in and telling us about this new facility. Great. We appreciate it, and we look forward to keeping up the tabs as to how it's coming along.
Thank you.